Today I want to talk to you about something that really isn't spoken about all that much. And it's going to be kind of just a free-flowing video just to get the thoughts out so you guys can hear them, because they, I think, are important for a lot of people, especially me when I was younger. So the way your goals kind of emerge is when you're young, you kind of jump into things that you really enjoy, right? There's things you really like doing. There's things that are fun. You might have hobbies, right? This could be video games, collecting stuff, playing other sorts of games, whatever it might be, right? It could be learning something, it could be playing a sport. And then you get to this age, especially as a young man, you get to this age where you determine, wait, I need to make money, right? Or at least hopefully you get there where you're like, wait, I need to make money, because if I don't have money, if I'm not lucky enough to, just have a bank account that fills itself up every day, I have to do something in order to be a productive member of society. Because even if I want to continue this thing that I originally liked, right, this hobby or this whatever, like, you're going to need money to fuel your lifestyle. You're going to need money to do things with your life. And so your goals change from having this hobby to now like money. And now hopefully you're one of those people who find a hobby inside of the like niche of making money, because that can make life really, really fun and way easier than people who just hate all the stuff to do with making money, but they need to make some of it. Now, some people, a little bit of a tangent, but some people in that category, right, they will just, the way that they will deal with this is they will see how many things in their life that they can live without so that their burden of making money comes down, as opposed to what do I want with my life? And so my burden of making money goes up, because, if you want all this stuff, you might want a fast car, or you might want a fancy watch, right? Those are the kind of more superficial things. Or you might just want to take a vacation. You might want to have to, not look at the price beside every single line on the menu, right, to determine if you're going to order that or not, right? You might want to get 4 entrees because you want to try a piece of each one, right? And you just don't want to care about how much it costs. You just want that experience, or give that experience to a friend or a loved one or whatever, right? Anyway, your goals are going to evolve from you starting with a hobby and now making money. And so now what you have to focus on is going to change. But there is a point above that. And this is the crucial thing that I want to talk to you guys about. The point above that is realizing that once you get to that point where you are making some money, that kind of first stage of like hobby, you're like, what do I like? What do I enjoy spending time doing? What can I just get lost in every day, right? That reemerges. And that inevitably, by the way, reemerges. And when that does reemerge, it can kind of mess with your head. It can really, really mess with your head. And here's why. Because you think that when you go from that stage 1 to stage 2, right, from that hobby to making money, you feel like, okay, now I'm maturing. Like, here is where I'm growing up. Is because now it's like I'm focused on money, I'm focused on taxes, I'm focused on investments, all these things, right? And what's new about this second category, right, is when you go from 1 to 2, or when you're in 1, right, you don't judge it in any way, right? It's not good for you, bad for you. It's just what you like, just the things you like, just the stuff you enjoy doing. You want to wake up and do it, right? Then we're doing stage 2. You attach this identity to it. You're like, okay, like, I want to make money. And maybe, by the way, maybe you don't think about this consciously, but I'm telling you this to hopefully spur your imagination so you begin to recognize that this is in you too. So you go from 1 to 2, and when you're in 2, you attach this identity of, okay, like, now I'm mature, like, I'm proud to tell my friends that, like, or I'm proud to tell people around me, I have this job, or like, this is what I'm applying to do, or this is what I'm looking to do with my life, or, whatever it might be. When you're a student, right, you're talking about what you will be doing. Then you're out of college or out of university if you decide to go, right? And then this is what you are doing, X, Y, Z. Like, this, you're proud to tell people. And you have this identity of like, okay, like, I'm this mature person. And maybe you don't tell other people, but you tell yourself, in your mind. It might be subconscious. And it feels good to pursue that. But when that third stage comes around of like, okay, well, what do I actually want? Like, you might be someone, despite, what the red pill says, let's say, right? You might be someone who wants to spend all your time with your wife, right? That might be your thing. You might just have so much fun, no matter what it is. Like, it might just be your hobby, spending your time with your wife. That might be it, right? Or it might be something else. You might rediscover a board game from when you were a kid and you're like, damn, I really love playing this. And so every Saturday, every Sunday, I want to get together with some friends who also love playing this. And I just need a lifestyle that can allow me to do this, allow me to, do this on the weekends. And forget what anyone else tells you, about, oh, that's not mature, or that's not, a happy life, or whatever it is. Because the reality is that everyone gets to a point where they realize that they're either happy or they're not. And if they are, it's because they followed, this might sound cheesy, but they followed what's in here. Okay? They followed like what actually made them happy, and they built a life around that. As opposed to doing what you're told to do to be mature and all these things, and you're stuck in that second stage. Unless, by the way, whatever you find in that second stage with respect to making money turns into that third thing, where like you're just so passionate about sending emails to I don't know, veterinarians that specialize in lizards, and you care so much, and you're selling terrariums to them, and that's just your passion, whatever, right? Like I'm giving you an example based on something that somebody might fall into in stage 2 because they just found some niche to make money, but they don't really care, right? And I'm telling you this from experience. I had so many things that I wanted to start and I wanted to be a part of, that if I think about now, if I had done those things and actually got into those things, I would be miserable right now. And so I'm glad that either some of them didn't do that well or some of them flat out failed, right? I'm happy about that. Especially now that I'm in this point where I feel as though in my life I've more or less solved for money. Am I the richest person on the planet? No. Am I the poorest person on the planet? No. I'm doing a lot better than some people, doing a lot worse than others, right? Like most of us out there. But I feel now comfortable where I could say, if I wanted to, it's a really good place to get where, if I wanted to, I could just say, okay, like I'm done trying to make more money than this. I'm comfortable here and I can, raise a family here and all this kind of stuff, right? It's a very liberating place to be because it allows me to allows me to just kind of look into that third category of thing like I was talking to you about, which is like, what do I actually want to do? I've more or less solved for money. So now it's like, what do I want to do? But when I say what do I want to do, I don't mean in the context of, when you're a kid and someone says, so what do you want to do when you grow up, right? Really what they're asking you is, how do you plan on making money consistently? That's not what I'm saying. I'm saying, what do you actually want to do? What do you actually want to do? Because you do get to an age where, again, you realize time is not infinite. You have a certain amount and it catches up with you in different ways, right? It's not just time flipping over pages on a calendar. It's also your elbows, beginning to ache a little bit more than they used to, or, you get a little bit more tired than you used to, or whatever, these little things, right? And of course, there's things that you can do to help all these things, like proper supplementation, proper diet, proper sleep, proper lifestyle, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. But my point is that these things begin to creep in little ways, and they creep in sometimes without you noticing because life can get so busy. And if you find the thing that you really like to do, then you're not going to have the midlife crisis. You're not going to have this thing of being like, oh, wow, my elbows and my knees ache. Also, I've turned over X amount of calendar pages. I'm this old. Also, all my friends have kids and are married or whatever. Or some of them, hopefully not yet. I mean, if you're my age, right? I'm 29 right now, but some of them have passed away, whatever, And so what I'm saying to you is this, is that when you're young, you have this what I'm calling this stage 1 of interest or hobby. This thing is just what you just like to do. No one's taught you that you should do it or anything like that. Or maybe they have, but either way, you've fallen into it and you've just fallen in love with it. This might be the first sport you play that you stick with for a while, right? This might be the first instrument you pick up that you stick with for a while. It could be anything. But then this level 2 thing comes around, right? Where it's now you can't just do this all day because there's a pressure on you from the world and you don't know any different, right? You have your parents and your friends and your older mentors and all these things, people telling you to do stuff, and you don't know any different. You don't know, should I or should I not pursue this thing? You just have all this pressure to do it. And so you're kind of oriented towards this is the right way to live your life. And you know what? For the most part, it probably is. Of course, there's some lifestyles out there that are completely separate from this. You might just want to go completely off grid and whatever, go to a meditation retreat for 10 years, whatever, right? There's different crazy, other lifestyles out there that you can do, but for the most part, we're all pursuing this thing of okay, you find this thing you like, and then you kind of have to give some time away from that, take some time away from that to give to now you have to make money. And, that can be expressed in terms of going to school and studying something that you're not that interested in, but again, it'll make you some money at the end of the day, hopefully, right? And then the third thing, again, is you're called to rediscover what you loved when you were younger, or at least from the place that you were in when you were younger, discover something new. And again, forget all the pills, like the red pill and the black pill and the blue pill and whatever. And forget all of the role models or whatever that tell you things that are it's all about, it's just category 2 expanded. It's just you get to category 2 where you start making money, and then it's all just about making more money and more money and more money. Look, that's not, it's really not going to make you happy at a certain point. It's not. Of course, yes, having some money so that you're not freaked out all day about, what you're going to eat tomorrow, or if you're in a, you have a position of more responsibility where your family has to eat and all that kind of stuff, of course, you have to take care of that first, right? But what I'm telling you is eventually, if you don't take the time to figure out this third thing, what you actually enjoy doing, is it spending time with your best friend? Is it spending time playing a video game with your best friend? Is it? Might be, right? Might be spending time with your girlfriend or your wife. Might be spending time writing about whatever. It might be spending time watching movies. And also it could be, like I said before, it could be something that does make money. It could be. But what I'm saying is, if you don't have that in your life, if you don't spend time looking for that and rediscovering that and getting that back into your life, there's no amount of satisfaction in that category 2 that is going to fulfill you. Zero. And so cut to the chase. Spend some time now either looking for what that thing is that you just enjoy, absent of everybody's judgment, absent of every single person's judgment. It doesn't matter who they are, what they say, it doesn't matter. Find the thing that makes you genuinely happy, that you could get lost in, that you can get into this, this famous flow state, right? Can't even get it out of my mouth. Find that thing and engage in that, and schedule that in, engage in that, regardless of what anyone else says, because you will reach a day again where it's your last day, and if you haven't engaged in it, you haven't taken the time to enjoy the time while you've had here, and you've just lived your life based on what other people have told you to do for so long about money and all these things, you won't be fulfilled, and your last day will probably be terrifying, because you'll look back and say, hey, I was so productive, I made all this money, and I, whatever. But that might not be the thing that really fulfills you. It might not be. So take the time to figure that out. And I hope that helps. Thank you so much for watching. My name is Spencer of The Must Become. Always remember that your potential is your obligation. And so what you can become, you must become.